listen, before I go, I want to see a diploma. So we found it in the archives, and we got an original cover from 1941, and his son came. And he was going to wait till Christmas, and I went, you better go up and give that to her right now. She's 97 years old, you know. So
Yeah.
he was so happy. That was a feel-good meeting, you know. He was so excited.
You know, I understand. I thought
That's awesome. And in my elementary school. This time I'd like to call the Springfield Local Schools Board of Education December meeting to order. Chris, can you please do the roll call?
Mr. Hofer.
Here.
Mrs. Dotson.
Here?
Mr. Petrie.
Here.
Mr. Hess.
Here,
Mr. Lance.
Here.
all present. This time we stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 4.1, board member recognition. Chris, I'll let you start.
We're going to do it a little different this year because we have some of our members are leaving and some of our members are staying. So what we decided to do is the members that are leaving, we're going to present them with a certificate of appreciation. And then next month, the 3 new board members with the existing 2 will recognize. Okay? Plus we have some other things we want. Mr. Hess.
Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome. Mrs. Dodson.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Lance. I want to personally thank these fine people. I know how this job is. My wife was a board member for 11 years. Although you love it, at times it can be a little challenging. So for all the years that these people did it, and especially the person that we're going to present some awards to, Mary Lou, it's really, it's quite a feat. I was telling my family the years, and my brother said, you mean she's been a board member since Ronald Reagan was elected? And I said, yes, she has. Yes, she has. And I'm sure she likes Ron.
Good president.
I do.
So, yeah, that's what I told him. If you could open this up and I want you to show the crowd, that's a pretty neat thing that the board, that the school district wanted to give you for all the years. I mean, think about
Wow.
40 years. There's only a few people, right, in the state of Ohio.
Yeah, she's in the top 5% of consecutive running board members.
That's amazing.
Maybe I will.
That's what I used to tell my kids. Just rip it.
No, I don't. My hands aren't that good. There we go. Now we get the other one off, huh?
And who in the staff designed this? I did not. April? Who? Paulette? Did you? It's cool.
Oh, my word.
Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It is
Wow.
nice. You get to take that one home. This one you don't get to take home. This one we're going to show you, but we get to keep it because this is going to be hung in the administrative offices until somebody else can beat your record, which I don't believe will ever happen.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Yeah. We haven't determined, I don't think, where it's going to go up, but it's going to
Wow.
be there.
That's my picture on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Congratulations,
He
Mary
doesn't
Lou.
have my card. Thank you so much.
That was awesome. You wanna put it back there?
That is awesome.
So I was figuring the new board members coming in, based on their, I don't know their age, but I can guess, some of them would have to be like 115 years old to beat your record. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Well,
That puts it in
I was
perspective.
pretty young then.
Right.
Do you want me to go ahead and,
You're welcome to do it now, or you're welcome also to wait until board members informal, whichever you prefer, Mary Lou. I was gonna have-
well, we'll wait till board members inform.
I think that's good.
Okay,
Congratulations again.
thank you, thank you, thank you so much, everyone. It was my honor to serve, really.
Thank you. Is Mr. Lee with us yet, or should we just walked in? All right, we'll give him a minute. We don't want him to be hurried. Just so he has a minute to get in and get settled, why don't we just go ahead and do the next item, and we'll come back to him.
What is the next item?
Item number 5, approval of minutes.
Oh, okay.
It is recommended that the board approve the minutes of the regular meeting of November 16th, 2021, and special meeting of December 7th, 2021, and December 14th, 2021, Exhibits 1, 1A, and 1B.
So moved.
Second?
I can't hear him unless I look at him.
I believe that was Dave first and
Okay.
Larry second.
Okay. I'm gonna have to turn around. Mr. Hofer,
Yes.
Mrs. Dodson,
Yes,
Mr. Petrie,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes,
Mr. Lance.
Yes.
motion passes. I think before we move on to citizens' comments, we will now do item 4.2, and that's an honorary diploma for Mr. Rockney Lee. Oh, they're not, okay, well, then we'll keep going then. How about item 6, citizens' comments on agenda items? Are there any citizens' comments on agenda items this evening? All right. Seeing none, we'll move on to item number 7, payment of bills, monthly. It is recommended that the board approve payment of bills for the month of November pending audit, Exhibit 2.
So moved?
Second?
First, Larry, second.
Yeah, I heard that one. Mrs. Dodson,
yes,
Mr. Petrie,
Yes.
Mr. Hofer,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Lance.
Yes.
Motion passes. Item number 8, payment of bills then and now. It is recommended that the board approve a resolution for payment of bills per Ohio Revised Code, Section 5705.21D, Exhibit 3.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Hess?
Yes.
Mrs. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Petrie?
Yes.
Mr. Hofer?
Yes.
Motion passes. Item number 9, acceptance of financial reports. It is recommended that the board accept the financial reports from the treasurer for November 2021, Exhibits 4, 5, and 6.
So move.
Second.
Mrs. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Petrie?
Yes.
Mr. Hofer?
Yes.
Mr. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Hess?
Yes, motion passes.
Mr. Hess, they're here again.
All right. Now let's go back to item 4.2, an honorary diploma for Mr. Rockney Lee.
Hi, I'm Michelle Warner. I am the principal of Springfield High School and Junior High. And on September the 20th, I had the privilege of meeting Mr. Rockney Lee. You go up and come up here and stand by me. He wore his Letterman jacket.
Nice.
Still fits.
I still have
70
mine,
years later.
It was during that visit on September 20th that I learned a little bit about his life and his time at Springfield Local Schools. Rockney lost his father at an early age, and he was the second to the oldest child in the family. He felt the need to help his mother and his younger siblings with expenses. He worked at Edwin Shaw Hospital, washing dishes for a few cents an hour. By the time that Rockney became a high school senior, his focus had completely shifted to caring for his family. He made the hard decision to drop out of school and to join the military. He was close to one of his teachers, and he promised them that he would get his GED. Rockney kept that promise, and he got the GED, and he enlisted into the United States Air Force. During his military time, Rockney sent money home to help his mother care for the family. He was a member of the 3080th Squadron, where he served for 3 years, 11 months, and 11 days. He was decorated with the Good Conduct Medal and the National Defense Service Medal. During that meeting on September 20th, Rockney was still talking about his love for his family, specifically his great-granddaughter, Ariana Lee. She will graduate this coming May. We chatted about how interesting it was that 50 years later, a member of his family was due to graduate from Springfield. Rockney helps us all see that blessings are all around us if we take the time to see them. Having a close community and family was all that Rockney needed. It's with great respect and pleasure that Springfield Local Schools would like to present you, Mr. Rockney Lee, with an honorary diploma from Springfield High School. You want to say something?
Well, it's just been a long time, 70 years. And my great-granddaughter back there, she's gonna be graduating next year. And I talked to my wife before she passed. And I said, I'm gonna wait, and when she graduates from here, I'm gonna get my diploma too. So, here we go. I want to thank Mrs. Warner for the fine principal.
Thank you.
So good.
It's been a pleasure to meet you and to
Yes.
help you with this.
I just get choked up. As you can see, I think they made good sweaters back there. I willed this to my grandmother, my granddaughter, and she took care of it the last few years, and she's gonna take care of it for the next 70 years, so. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for the school board there. All right, thank you again.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you.
It is. Thank you, Mr. Lee. Item number 10, personnel. It is recommended that the board approve the following personnel items. 10.1, employment. Reassign classified employee Grace Kennedy as a 2-hour educational assistant at Schropp Intermediate per the negotiated agreement pending proper licensure effective December 10th, 2021. 10.2, employment. Employ the following classified substitutes per the negotiated agreement pending proper licensure effective the first day assigned. Alexis Henderson, Candace Phillips, Tiana Butler, Kelly Glenn. 10.3, employment. Reassign classified employee Rebecca Bittinger as a 6.5-hour teaching assistant at Spring Hill Elementary per the negotiated agreement pending proper licensure effective December 7th, 2021. 10.4, reduction in force. Approve a reduction of the following classified positions due to the financial reasons effective January 1st, 2022. Eliminate the following positions. High school, junior high cafeteria, 2 hours. Reduce the hours of the following positions. Schropp, Spring Hill, split custodian, reduce 4 hours per day. Spring Hill, preschool teaching assistant, reduce 1 day per week. 10.5, staffing reassignments. Approve the following staffing reassignments resulting from the reduction in force effective January 1st, 2022 unless otherwise noted. Laura Pace to Spring Hill Schropp Intermediate, split, 4-hour custodian. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Go ahead, Larry. Second.
Mr. Lance,
Yes.
Mr. Hofer,
Yes.
Mr. Petrie,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mrs. Dodson.
Yes.
Motion passes. Item 11, inventory disposal, Super Learning Center. It is recommended that the board approve an inventory disposal for Super Learning Center's Faith Christian Academy, Exhibit 7.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Dodson,
Yes.
Mr. Hofer,
Yes.
Petrie,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Lance.
Yes.
Motion passes. Item 12, service agreement Keep Academy. It is recommended that the board approve that the Springfield Local School District continue its partnership with Kent Education Excellence Partnership, Keep Academy, for the 2021-22 school year at a cost of $500 to the district to be paid out of grant funding, Exhibit 8.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Lance,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mrs. Dodson,
Yes.
Mr. Hofer,
Yes.
Mr. Petrie.
Yes.
Motion passes. Item 13, Electric Audit Project Agreement, Ohio Schools Council and Yankee and Associates, Inc. It is recommended that the board approve an electric audit project agreement between Springfield Local Schools, Ohio Schools Council, and Yankee and Associates, Inc. in Exhibit 9.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Thought it's worth stating that this, and please correct me if I misstate anything, Chris, but this is just to have this firm do an audit of the electric bills and make sure that we weren't overcharged in the past, and they will be paid a percentage of their findings if they find anything. So this is not gonna cost us anything.
Dave, correct, this started after our House Bill 264 project.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing all around. Just to ensure that we're going as we're supposed to be going.
Yeah. If it can make us money and not cost anything, that is great.
Absolutely. Mr. Petrie,
Yes.
Mrs. Dodson,
Yes.
Mr. Hofer,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Lance.
Yes.
Motion passes. Item 14, tax advance. It is recommended that the board approve a resolution authorizing the advance of local taxes by the county fiscal office for the 2021 tax year payable in 2022, Exhibit 10.
So move. I'll second.
That Dave that did the first? Chad.
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 Mr. Hofer,
Yes.
Mrs. Dodson,
Yes.
Mr. Lance,
Yes.
Mr. Petrie,
Yes.
Mr. Hess.
Yes, motion passes. Item 15, school calendar. It is recommended that the board approve the 2022-23 school calendar in Exhibit 11.
So moved.
Is that Dave?
Mhm.
Yep.
Second.
Any questions or comments?
Well, we're getting a little closer. I still don't like the starting as early as we do. 2 of our 3 schools do not have air conditioning. And I have a student, I'll have 2 in this building next year, and the one that's in that said she wears a hoodie in August because it's so cold in here. So I don't, where I grew up, we started after Labor Day. Now, granted, it was kind of a farming community, so a lot of the 4-H and fairs and stuff, I get that, but these second floors, both elementary and middle school have second stories, and they're just extremely hot, So we're getting there. We're later than we were last year. I think it may just be how the weeks fell, though. So still want to see that worked on in the future. Maybe get that even later. And I'm all for. I brought it up before. I'm all for getting rid of the spring break week. I think I looked in it. We were out of school for like 7 of 10 days or 7 of 11 days because we have Good Friday mixed in there. We have a teacher comp day, I think, on the Monday after Good Friday. So just a lot of days off right there that we could maybe work that towards the start or end date. So
Thanks, Chad. Any other comments or questions?
No, I think the suggestion that was thrown out that you got 2 buildings and you can stagger your start. I mean, this building and PLCC, we service a lot of families from our district. We're the number 1 and number 2 feeder for our kids going to PLCC. So they're both air conditioned, so they could technically start anytime they want. I don't think it would cause our district a whole lot of issues. Basically, the only logistics to starting the 2 buildings later would be busing. I mean, because your teachers and everybody else and the faculty of that building is going to start at that date. So I think it's something to take a look at down the road, and you can avoid your hot days in August. I think that's really the only thing that logistically, I mean, you're going to run your buses, a week or 10 days before whatever that start date, if you're thinking out of the box, would be. So, and then you would just run those buses a little bit later. The staff would finish would start with the school building whatever that date is, and then finish with that date in that building. So those 2 buildings without air conditioning could be I think started and stopped very, very easily. It would just take a little bit of negotiation with our teachers union and our other 2 unions. But I think it's doable. Just to say, no, we can't do it out of the box, it's being closed mind. I think it's open up our minds. We've got enough brain power in this district to figure something out. We can put a man on the moon. I think we can figure out start and stop times.
Thanks, Dave. Chris, whenever you're ready.
Mrs. Dodson,
Yes.
Mr. Petrie,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Lance,
no.
Mr. Hofer,
Yes.
Motion passes. Item 16, state testing remote learning days. It is recommended that the board approve the following dates for grades 7 through 12 only as remote learning days for the purposes of completing Ohio's state testing. March 1st, ACT testing for grade 11. March 22nd, ELA grade 7, 8, and ELA 2 classes. April 12th, math for grade 7, 8, algebra, and geometry class. April 20th, science for grade 8 and biology classes. April 27th, social studies for American history and government classes.
So move.
Second.
Thank you.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Hofer,
Yes.
Mrs. Dodson,
Yes.
Ms. Petrie,
Yes.
Mr. Lance.
Yes.
Motion passes. Item 17, President Pro Tem. It is recommended that the board name, I'm going to insert Larry Petrie as our current vice president, if he's willing to do it, as President Pro Tem until the 2022 president is selected at the organizational meeting scheduled for January 11th, 2022 at 6 p.m.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Dave.
Mr. Hofer,
Yes.
Mrs. Dodson,
Yes.
Mr. Petrie,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Lance.
Yes.
Motion passes. Item 18, Employment and Non-Renewal Resolution of Interim Superintendent. Pursuant to revised code 3319.01 and applicable laws, the Springfield Local School District Board of Education hereby approves and enters into an interim part-time as-needed superintendent contract of employment with a non-renewal of the same with William Stauffer for the period commencing January 1st, 2022, and automatically ending upon either the employment of a new superintendent or July 31st, 2022, whichever occurs first.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comment from the board?
Welcome back.
I think our district will be in good hands.
I do too. You're welcome to say
Thank
something.
you for having me back. I'm excited to be here. It's really, really thrilling this evening to see so many friendly faces in the room tonight.
Better vote.
I can
before you
assure you
vote
I'm
on
gonna
it.
work very, very hard with my team to move this district forward in a positive way. But, once again, thank you. It's great to be here.
Thank you, Bill.
Let's make it official, huh?
Let's make it official.
Mr. Lance,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Ms. Petrie,
Yes.
Mrs. Dodson,
Yes.
Mr. Hofer,
Yes.
Motion passes. Item 19, donations. 19.1, anonymous donor. A donation of $1,530 to help cover the pay-to-participate costs for the bowling team from an anonymous donor.
So move.
Second.
Mr. Hofer,
Yes.
Mr. Petrie,
Yes.
Mr. Lance,
Yes.
Mrs. Dodson,
Yes.
Mr. Hess.
Yes. Motion passes. Item number 20, policy approval. Bylaws and policies. 169.1, public participation at board meetings, revised. 1530, evaluation of principals and other administrators, revised. 1617, 3217, 4217, weapons, new, revised. 2271, college credit plus program, revised. 2370.01, blended learning, revised. 5111, eligibility of resident, non-resident students, revised. 5111.02, educational opportunity for military children, revised. 5200, attendance, revised. 5350, student mental health and suicide prevention, revised. 5516, student hazing, revised. 5630.01, positive behavior intervention and supports and limited use of restraint and seclusion, revised. 5722, school-sponsored publications, replacement. 6114, cost principles, spending federal funds, revised. 7300, disposition of real property, personal property, revised. 7450, property inventory, revised. 8330, student records, revised. 8462, student abuse and neglect, revised. 8600, transportation, revised. 8740, bonding, revised.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Mr. Lance,
Yes.
Mr. Hofer,
Yes.
Mrs. Dodson,
Yes.
Ms. Petrie,
Yes.
Mr. Hess.
Yes, motion passes. Item 21, Treasurer's Report.
I'll keep this brief. We talk about ESSER money, government money that we all hear about. I want to show you the impact it does. It's a short-term impact, but it still benefits us. It gives us a pause. And if we didn't have this help, we don't know what we would have this next couple of years. These, you know, when I talk about expenditures, these are the ones that really matter. Cost of our people to employ in the district and then the benefits involved. You go all the way over, you're seeing that our personnel is down 17% and our benefits are down 23% because of ESSER monies. What we've done is we've allocated people to be paid through ESSER funds. So instead of hitting the general fund like it normally does, which it will in a few years, to hitting the ESSER funds. Unfortunately, right now, the federal government put a hold on the money that, you know, I go out, I ask for my money back, and they sent me a letter last week that says, we got a problem, we've run out of the money so far, so we have to wait, so. But they promised me it's just a temporary glitch. But I just want to emphasize how important these ESSER monies are for our children, for our employees. What we have done if this money didn't appear, I don't even want to think about it, but maybe they'll extend it, it'd be lovely. But we have a lot of issues going on to offset these dollars. These are millions of dollars that we've received, so. But we're very appreciative. I know I am. So that's I just wanted to let you see. As the year goes on, I'll continue. I don't know if I'm going to bring it to the board, but what I can do is we can put it on the website and send it to our employees to show the continued benefit of this. So. As far as financially, nothing's major change. The one thing I've seen, it's kind of, and it makes sense, is with the pandemic, a lot of people are not going to the hospital. You know, they're going to the well clinics, they're going to the satellite hospitals, which is driving our costs down a little bit. Not a lot, but every little bit counts. I had a rep from Medical Mutual come in, and they're seeing that all over the place. Now, as this pandemic is ramping back up again, unfortunately, you're seeing the major hospitals in our area shutting down all the procedures that typically people are going to go, the scheduled procedures. So I anticipate this trend to continue for, I would suspect, the next couple of months. I don't think normal is coming back as quickly as we thought it was going to, unfortunately. So. Thanks.
ESSER monies are supposed to run through concurrent 4-year 22-23?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll spend it.
I'm sure we will.
Thank you, Chris. Item 22, Business Manager's Report. Our business manager, Mr. Boswell, could not be with us this evening. I don't know, did he leave a report, or are we just going to skip over that item? Skip
Much
over?
needed vacation.
Good for Dustin.
Yes.
Item 23, Superintendent's Report. Our Superintendent, Mr. Sincere, also cannot be with us this evening, but I did communicate with him today. He just wanted me to say that he continues to recuperate well. He did want me to say just how much he has been honored to be able to serve this district over the last, I believe it's 33 years that he's worked for us, and just want to let him know how much we appreciate his many years of service to our district. So thank you, Mr. Sincere. Item 24, items worthy of your note. December 20th, Teachers' Record Day, no school. December 21st, winter vacation begins. January 4th, classes resume. January 11th, next regular Board of Education meeting, 6 p.m., high school, junior high community room. January 17th, Martin Luther King Day, no school. Item 25, citizens' comments. Participants shall be limited to 5-minute durations. Are there any citizens' comments this evening? Seeing none, I will move to item 26, board members informal. I thought that Mary Lou could go last this evening, and
Thank you.
you could adjourn the meeting as well after your comments were finished, Mary Lou.
I would appreciate that.
I'll go ahead and go first. This is my last board meeting as well. I just want to say how honored I am to have been able to serve the students and the staff of this district. I'm also very honored to have served with all of these board members. It's been fantastic. Good times, bad times, but I think we've always done everything we could to help the schools. In particular, I just want to say to Mary Lou, it's been an honor serving with you. I remember, I think it was my first term on the board over 10 years ago. I've learned so much from Mary Lou, and early on, I remember one time she told me some great advice, and you said, you're not going to make everybody happy. And you said, if you try, you're probably not going to be doing your duty to the schools. And that was the best advice I had gotten. I've never forgotten it, and I greatly appreciate it. Not only did you teach me a lot about being a board member, you taught me a lot about being a Spartan. You truly loved this school and this community, and it's been an honor serving with you.
Thank you, Neil.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to say something to the citizens of Springfield and Lakemore as well. We have to spend more for education. I know you've heard me harp about this, and I'm not going to stop. We have got to spend more money to fund this school district. We are never going to achieve academic excellence by cutting. We're not going to cut our way to greatness. We have got to spend more on education for our children. Our children deserve it. Our children deserve more than what we are currently providing them. If we don't get new funding for this school district, we're going to have to make additional cuts. Our children are going to feel those cuts. They're going to lose opportunities. They're going to lose classes. They're going to lose experiences that you and I, everybody in this community that graduated years ago, experiences we took for granted, experiences that shape our emotional and social well-being. They're going to lose those opportunities, and there's just no excuse for it. So even though our school district's at a tough time, it's been a very difficult last couple years, I'm very hopeful for the future. I'm hopeful that the community will come together, that we will properly fund our schools in the future. I am hopeful that we'll rally around the new board that's coming in the new year and the new administrative leadership. And I think that we can greatly improve things. I think that you could write a book about Springfield and the way that it's going to recover and get better. And, I'm excited about the future. I'm honored to have served and can't wait to see the next chapter in Springfield's history. That's all I have. Thank you.
I also would like to say how honored I am to have served with Mary Lou coming in as a new board member. I felt a little intimidated because we had a board member that had over 35 years of experience. And I didn't know how I was going to be able to match up and participate with somebody that had that much. But Mary Lou pointed out pretty quickly, everybody has their strengths. You find your niche and you'll be okay. So I appreciate her guidance. I appreciate the calmness that she helps this board hang together with, and she'll be missed. She'll be greatly missed. I guess that makes Dave our senior member, so you got some big shoes to fill now, Dave.
Chad, would you like to go?
Sure. I guess I will follow suit and thank Mary Lou for her service. I was only on just a little over 2 years, but even though it was a challenging 2 years, I will say I enjoyed it. There weren't as many positives as there were negatives for me in the last 2 years. I hope no one blames me for COVID coming into the district, but it was pretty much right after I came on boards. But enjoyed it. All four of you kind of guided me on different areas and different topics, and Chris and Mary and Dustin and Mr. Sincere and everybody. Just want to thank everybody. Didn't get everything done I said I would or wanted to, but you know, a new board's coming on, and hopefully they'll keep moving forward. I keep saying every time it was COVID, then the levee failed, I said, oh, we're at rock bottom, and then that rock just slid further down, and we went into a further hole. So we got to be getting close here, and hopefully we're on the way up. Want to thank the staff, everybody. You guys have done just a tremendous job during a very challenging time. Nothing's been easy. Remote learning and masks. I mean, you guys are mask police. You're, on Zoom calls. You're just doing it all. So thank you. Want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Be safe. Enjoy the season. That's what it's all about. So, thank you.
Thank you, Chad. Dave?
Yep. I want to thank Mary Lou for her service. When I first got on the board, I said to her, I think maybe I ought to memorize everybody's name in the district. She kind of looked at me and she said, good luck with that. And I'm still working on that 10 years later. We would always go back and think about things, and we would always go back. And so I called her the local historian. I said, when did that happen, and how did it happen? And she's had a calmness. She'd grab my shirt collar at times and pull me back into some reality. So
You did?
oh, yeah, you did. You just didn't know it. So yeah, I would want to thank you for your time and your service. We can all learn from everybody if you're just willing enough to open up and learn a little bit. Want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. I do think that with the situation with COVID, I do think we need to talk about masks in the oncoming January opening. We're spiking. I'm not a mask person per se, but I think maybe we got to mask up, just for my thoughts, in the coming year when we start back. It's rising. I just found out last night. I work in an Amazon facility. I'm not an Amazon employee. 1/3 of our workforce at that facility is out. So that's a pretty good sized hit. So I think it might be prudent to do that for a bit. We know how to mask up. We also know how to take masks off. So if we don't have a mandate, then I would ask everybody to wear a mask, and when I come through the buildings, I'll have a mask on. So I don't mean that to be a downer, but it is the situation that we're living through, and I think we'll all get through it. But tonight, thank you, Mary Lou, for your service. It's been a pleasure to serve with you. So I will miss you.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Chad. Neil, Larry, thank you. The kind words. I had to write this because I knew that I couldn't just say what I wanted to say. I knew I would forget something, and I probably did. But where do I begin? In 1978, my eldest daughter, did not have a regular science teacher who was Mr. Chenoweth, and they put him in audio-visual, and they had Mr. Frankovitz fill in. Mr. Haynes just wouldn't hire him, it seemed, Well, I went to my first board meeting. The board was not aware of the situation, but they did hire Mr. Frankovitz, which was one of the best decisions that board made. I mean, he was an outstanding teacher. And Paulette, did you have him? I did. Yeah, I know my kids had him. I decided to run for the board in 1979. I think I was up all night calling the Board of Elections, I lost by 1 vote. We did have a recount, but he gained a vote and I gained a vote. So anyway, in the fall of 1980, I was appointed to fulfill Mildred Bozelli's seat after she resigned for health reasons. She was a great lady. Went over to her house and she gave me a lot of advice like I have passed out. And I haven't forgotten that advice. Thus the great journey began. I've been here for the very low times. Closing schools, Sawyerwood, Roosevelt, Milroy, Lakemore, Boyer, and last year Young. Those were such heart-wrenching decisions that weren't taken lightly. But I've been here for celebrations of accomplishments as well. Softball state championships and 40 graduations. I never missed a one. I always felt like, you know, some of these kids, this is the only time they're going to graduate. And it was important that we give them our support. Springfield has produced many accomplished professionals, doctors. I go to a Springfield graduate doctor, Dr. David Jackson. His brother, Paul, is an attorney. Dean Young, an attorney and trustee. Mary Taylor was lieutenant governor. The mayor and past mayor of Lakemore, Mr. Cole and Mr. Justice, were both Springfield graduates. Joe DeLaura, trustee. There's a judge, I can't think of his name right now. He graduated with my oldest daughter. Jim Knepp, yes. Leaders, business leaders, pastors. My pastor is a Springfield graduate. People in every walk of life. And oh yes, the superintendent of Streetsboro, Mike Dalbaugh. And I could never forget the teachers and principals who serve and have served who are Springfield graduates. Paula's one of them. Paulette's one of them. I can't forget to mention the many, many wonderful people that I've served with over the past years. Some came on the board with a very dislike for me, and that was fine. I've learned that everyone isn't in your corner. However, I must say many of them, same people, have become very good friends and close friends. In fact, I had Frances Brooks call me today, talked to her for quite a while. I've also served with great difficulty with an administrator who went to great lengths to do anything he could to get rid of me, but I endured. One of the proudest moments for me was traveling to Chicago and representing our school at the bond hearing at Standard & Poor's to obtain the loan to build this beautiful building that we're meeting in. During the design phase of our high school, junior high, the architects had asked each of us if there was something particular that we wanted for the building. I told them I would love to see big pillars, a sign of strength and academics, learning, and integrity. And every time I go by the building, I love seeing those white pillars. It has been an honor and a pleasure to serve the residents of Springfield and Lakemore. I have so many wonderful memories that I will treasure forever. I'm praying that the new board members are successful in getting our community to rally support for the additional funds that are so essential for a balanced education. I'll always be a Spartan. I have a letter sweater too. I haven't tried it on, but I don't know whether mine would fit as good as Mr. Lee's did. But I still have it. And I don't know whether I'll will it to anybody because none of my kids were in the band, and I think that's what my letter was in band. Played for the band for 4 years, marching band, concert band, played 4 instruments. It's been a very good experience. We're going to pull out of this. We will. It's going to take a lot of work, a lot of hard work, and if there's anything that I can do to help, I certainly will. But thank you so much, Springfield and Lakemore, for your support in all those years. It's really, truly been my pleasure. And I didn't cry. I'm so proud of myself. Thank you. thank you so much. And with that, I will make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second?
What?
Mr. Ofer?
I would have been fine with that.
All ayes?
Aye.
We're adjourned.
What four instruments did you play?
Clarinet, bass clarinet, and oboe, three instruments.